your glass, lean in close. We laugh, we dig, we chase the ghost. Welcome to Tinfoil and Tequila, where the wild ideas hit the floor. We crack the joke, then crack the code, and pour a little truth, then pour some more. If the story sounds too strange, that's when we turn up the flame. Tinfoil and tequila, tinfoil and tequila, where happy hour meets the rabbit hole. Tinfoil and tequila, tinfoil and tequila, come on in, let the chaos roll. No suit, no script, no boring line, just big laughs and a twist of line. Tinfoil and tequila. We're happy. Grab your glass, lean in close. We laugh, we dig, we chase the ghost. Welcome to Tinfoil and Tequila, where the wild ideas hit the floor. We crack the joke, then crack the code, and pour a little truth, then pour some more. If the story sounds too strange, that's when we turn up the flame. Tinfoil and tequila, tinfoil and tequila, where happy hour meets the rabbit hole. Tinfoil and tequila, tinfoil and tequila, come on in, let the chaos roll. No suit, no script, no boring line, just big laughs and a twist of line. Grab your glass, lean in close. We laugh, we dig, we
All right, guys, sorry about that. Got some technical difficulties. So apparently you did not hear me at all when I first started the show. I said a whole bunch of stuff in the first minute, and you guys probably didn't hear a thing except some music playing. That was because I had my mic muted. So that's just some of the stuff that we encounter on this show. Yeah, well, welcome everybody. Greatly appreciate you all for tuning in tonight for the show. Hey guys, this is exciting. Hey, we're going to be spending the next few minutes here talking about tonight's main topic. Tonight's topic is all about Mandela Effects, okay? If you guys have no idea what a Mandela Effect is, I highly recommend that you guys look it up, okay? But just to kind of tell you in a nutshell, since you are listening to my podcast tonight, this is Tinfoil and Tequila. So if you don't have your tinfoil hat on, go ahead and put it on. If you don't have your shot of tequila or your drink with tequila in it, go ahead and get that because you're going to want that, all right? You're going to need it. So go ahead and bust out the tinfoil and the tequila, and let's go ahead and get this party started. All right, so what the Mandela Effect is it's a phenomenon where thousands of people, if not millions of people, share the exact same false memory about an event, product, or pop culture detail, named after the misconception that Nelson Mandela died in prison in the 1980s. These memory glitches are typically caused by shared cognitive biases, misquotes, and false visual associations. Okay, so we're going to go over quite a few of these brand and logo discrepancies and some movie misquotes, some pop culture and fictional media, And then we're going to talk a little bit about mind control tonight on this podcast. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get this party started. This has quite been a controversial thing over the years. So, a lot of people believe that Nelson Mandela died in prison in the 1980s. However, Nelson Mandela died again, apparently, in 2013. Okay. So this all kind of started when Nelson Mandela passed away, and the Mandela Effect has kind of continued through multiple things, taking on Nelson Mandela's name, calling the Mandela Effects. All right, so we're going to go ahead and go over some of these Mandela Effects tonight here, and then we're going to kind of get started with a few things. So, do you guys like avocados? You ever bought Haas or Hass avocados in the store? So if you're strolling the aisles of your local supermarket, you may recall reaching for a Haas, Haas avocado, except that's not the correct spelling. The avocados are named after Rudolph Hass, Hass, not double A, it's double S. It's making the Haas the correct spelling. Interesting, because I've always seen it as Haas, Haas, avocados. So, interesting. So, Lincoln's closed fist. Many people first thought that comes to mind when you mention the Lincoln Memorial statue is that the 16th president of the United States sitting down with both palms resting on the sides of his chair. But that's incorrect. He actually has one hand closed into a fist, which is his left hand. So, yeah, everybody thinks his hands are open, laying on the chair, but he's actually got a fist in his left hand. Or his left hand is made into a fist, I should say. All right, so Shaggy's Adam Apple. You guys remember Shaggy from Scooby-Doo? Okay, everybody says that Shaggy's got an Adam's apple in his throat. So maybe it's because he just inhaled a giant sandwich, maybe. So do tons of others, but in reality, he doesn't have an Adam's apple. All right. Interesting. So you guys remember Mickey Mouse, right? Mickey Mouse driving the little ship. He's steering the wheel. He's dancing back and forth. Does Mickey have suspenders on that's holding up his pants? You may remember him wearing suspenders, right? Holding up his pants. Nope. Mickey does not wear suspenders. Interesting. Because I always remember the suspenders. So does many other people. All right, so remember Dorothy from Wizard of Oz? Okay, fly, my pretties, fly. Okay, so in the movie, she actually shouts, fly, fly, fly. Which, that's interesting because I remember fly, my pretties, fly. And while she's cackling, but they say she never said that it's fly, fly, fly. Well, that's an interesting one. So you guys like Captain Crunch, right? So is it Captain or is it Cap'n Crunch? How do you remember your favorite peanut butter flavored cereal with a pirate on the front? Is it Cap'n, as in CAP''N, or is it Captain Crunch? However you spell it, we know one thing's for sure. It's always delicious. All right, how about Snoopy's tail? What color is Snoopy's tail? Some people will tell you it's black, but in reality, it's white with a small black spot on it. All right. How about Tiger? Let me try that one again. How about Tony the Tiger from Frosted Flakes? You guys remember that one? How about his nose? Do you remember his nose being black? Nope. It's blue. He's got a blue nose. Huh. Maybe people remember that one as a, just because it's kind of the default that a tiger's nose is black. I don't know. All right. Hey, this is a big one. This is a really big one. And a lot of people know this for a fact. All right. So do you guys remember Shazam, right? The movie Shazam that came out, I don't know, what was it, the 80s and 90s, somewhere around there. Okay. So there was a movie called Shazam that came out with Sinbad in it. Many people had the VHS tape, right? Wrong. So they claim Shazam never came out with Sinbad in it. That the movie was actually called Kazam and it had Shaquille O'Neal in it as a genie. Wrong. Both of the movies actually came out, and Shazam came out first with Sinbad. And I remember the VHS tape, and actually, there are still some people out there that I've seen that have actually shared the pictures that they still have the VHS tape from Shazam with Sinbad. And there's also a movie called Kazam with Shaquille O'Neal. So both of them exist. So they claim that Shazam never existed with Sinbad, but it did. So how about the peanut butter? You guys remember Jif peanut butter? Many of you probably still buy Jif peanut butter, right? Well, some people swear that Jiffy was the name of the peanut butter back in the day. It was Jiffy, and it had a red, blue, and green block in the background. But people are apparently just confused because it's apparently always been Jif, Jif, peanut butter. But some people claim that they're confusing it with its competitor, Skippy. All right. So how about Looney Tunes? You guys remember Looney Tunes, right? From Warner Brothers. Everybody grew up watching Looney Tunes, right? That's an old classic, old favorite. Well, wouldn't you know that Looney Tunes is spelled wrong? You guys remember it being spelled as LooneyToons, right? Looney Tunes. But in fact, they claim it's Looney Tunes with tunes spelled Tunes. I don't remember that. I remember the Toons, Looney Tunes, as in like cartoons, not musical tunes. So, yeah, I remember the first one very vividly because it was cartoons. It was Looney cartoons called Looney Tunes, not Looney Tunes was in music tunes. So, yeah. All right. So here's another big one, guys. This one's been kind of put out there several times. The Bernstein Bears. Okay. So how many of you grew up reading Bernstein Bear books, right? You guys remember the Bernstein Bears? It's family, mama, papa, and a baby, and two kids, the bears. And so they claim that the Bernstein Bears never existed. That it's the Berenstain Bears. So it's not Stein like we believe it to be. It's Stain, Bernstein Bears. But no, I definitely read that book as a child, and it's definitely the Bernstein Bears. It's never been Stain. All right, how about Curious George? All right, you guys remember the little monkey, Curious George, and then his friend or his caretaker was the man in the big yellow hat. You remember that? So does Curious George have a tail or not? Many people believe that he had a tail, and maybe it's because that he was a monkey. But the fact is that he never had a tail. So very interesting. So you guys remember Sex and the City, right? It was a show, with 4 women, whatever on it, right? So it was always Sex and the City, right? So people are saying that it was Sex in the City. Some people are saying it's Sex and the City. So I always remember it as Sex and the City. But that's another one. So how about Febreze? All right, you guys know the furniture spray. You spray it on your furniture to make it smell good, right? Stuff you use every day. So didn't you guys think it was Febreze as Febreeze, right? That's what I remember. Had the little window logo on it. Well, no, they claim it was Febreze. It's not a double E in the middle. No, I definitely remember the double E and the blue spray bottle. Yeah, definitely remember that. All right, guys. Well, it is time to switch gears here. We are about to go into rapid fire, our next segment here for tonight. So, yeah, this is going to be an interesting one, guys. So, we're going to go ahead and transition over just a little bit early into that segment. The screen will change for you guys here in just a moment. But what rapid fire is we're going to talk about some different headlines regarding these topics from around the world. Also, going to go ahead and talk about our next part of the segment here. I told you guys we're going to be talking about mind control as well tonight, which kind of Mandela effects, mind control, they all kind of go in because it's messing with our memories, right? It's messing with things that we grew up believing that they are claiming that is not true, okay? When we vividly remember it, it is programmed in our mind. It is there. We know that it's there. We know that that's the facts, and so the thing is that when, like, mind control is a crazy thing, okay? And a lot of people believe that our minds and our daily lives and everything is being manipulated and controlled in a way that let's see. So it is basically our minds being controlled by CERN. Okay, and if you guys do not know who CERN is, that is definitely something for another show, another topic to discuss. But you guys can go and look it up. You can go online and Google CERN. It's CERN. It's a largest particle collider. It's a large hadron collider, LHC. It's based over in Switzerland, I believe it is. Yeah, Switzerland. So, anyways, that this particle collider supposedly manipulates our environment, our reality, changes things in our lives, and is able to open up portals and all kinds of stuff. So like I said, it goes deep, and it's a whole nother show discussion that we're going to have at some point. So everybody needs to learn about CERN and kind of what it is. But I can tell you that that's not the only collider that's here. Okay. There is supposedly one in Texas, and there's another one in Tennessee. I do know that the one in Tennessee does exist for a fact. I don't know about the one in Texas, but the one in Tennessee is located right up there by Knoxville. If you guys look up in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, you guys look up the Department of Energy that's there. They have a huge facility, top secret facility. You've got to have clearance and everything to get in there. A fella posted a TikTok video not too long ago, and he was working there and doing some electrical work for them out there, and as a contractor. And he said the sirens went off, and he heard a loud noise happening, and like a loud humming noise. And then he heard that followed by a loud, like, swishing noise, like a shoo, 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 like something starting to spin around. And he said a bunch of military police started running toward a door that went into the ground on there, and they told everybody to get away from the area. And he was forced out of the facility, was told to leave the facility, that it was unsafe for him to be there, and that he had to go. And he said that he was never back to finish the job. So they would just get another contractor to come out and finish the job that the first contractor didn't get to finish. So yeah, so that was pretty interesting. But the fella is on TikTok. I forget his name, but you guys can check him out, look him up on there. But you guys can go online. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that you guys can find regarding the Mandela Effects, regarding CERN, mind control. This is a great topic to go down the rabbit hole with because there's just so much information on it. And if you guys are not on TikTok, I recommend you get on TikTok. There's a lot of great videos on TikTok, a lot of people sharing information from that they've conducted through their own research on there. And you guys can get a lot of great information through a lot of these videos, and they will show you the evidence. They'll show you their research that they did on there. So it's not just somebody just sitting there talking. It's not just a talking head. It's backed up by the research and the evidence on there. So, but yeah, so yeah, very interesting stuff. So, yeah, so some stuff from around the world. You guys remember Fruit of the Loom, right? So Fruit of the Loom, growing up, I remember it having a cornucopia in it. I don't know about you guys, but the cornucopia was like the fruit basket with the fruit in it. That was in the Fruit of the Loom logo, right? That was why it was called Fruit of the Loom. It was fruit and the loom and the basket, whatever, and it had that cornucopia. But they claim that the cornucopia never existed, and it's always just been a colorful logo, and that's wrong, because I definitely remember the cornucopia in there. But yeah, a lot of crazy stuff, right? I mean, this is just mind blowing stuff. But so some stuff from around the world. All right. So over in the United Kingdom, Mr. Darcy's lake scene. Almost half of Brits recall Colin Firth's Mr. Darcy stepping out of the lake with a soaking wet white shirt on in a 1995 BBC Pride and Prejudice adaptation. While he swam in the lake, he actually never emerged on screen with a wet T-shirt on. That's interesting. They claim he went swimming, but he never actually came out of the water with a wet shirt on. But yet, half of Brits remember it. So how about Snow White? The evil queen's legendary line is often remembered as "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?" But they actually claim that that's not true, that it's actually magic mirror on the wall. That doesn't even sound right. Magic mirror on the wall? Like, what in the world? All right, so in Australia, the location of New Zealand, many individuals around the globe, and particularly the Pacific, remember New Zealand being situated directly to the north or west of Australia on the world map. Geographically, it's always been to the southeast of Australia. Now, how about Play School TV show? Countless Australians vividly remember actor John Jarratt appearing on the children's show Play School. In reality, he was never on the show. He was actually on Better Homes and Gardens. Interesting. And in Japan, the island count, in a strange twist of cartography, the official count of Japanese islands was listed as 6,852. After a digital resurvey by Japanese Coast Guard, an additional 7,000 islands were officially tallied, bringing the total to nearly 14,000 islands in Japan. I find that one far-fetched. I don't know about me. I don't know about you, but me, I mean, that's definitely weird. How can you go from 6,852 islands to 14,000 islands? That's like, hey, we found 7,000 more islands that we never even knew existed. Yeah, That's weird. But yeah, that's some weird stuff from around the world, right? Very, very interesting. All right, guys. Well, we are moving on. We're going to go ahead and go into our deep dive a little bit early. We're going to go ahead and skip. Um, yeah, we're going to go ahead and skip the um, comedy part here since our other half is not here tonight. We're supposed to have Jennifer McGee or Jen McGee in here tonight with us, but unfortunately, Jen had some work duties that called her in to work, and she couldn't make it out of work in time to be here for the show. But that's quite okay. We miss you, Jen. We hope that you'll be here next week for our podcast next week. So we'll have you on next week. We were going to have Michael Bullock, but we're going to bump him up a week, push him back to the following week. We're going to give Jen an opportunity to get in here next week. Again, we're going to go ahead and get her rescheduled. And then she'll be in here with us next week. And then we'll have Michael Bullock the following week as special guest with us. And all these folks that we're having here on the show are all natives here of North Georgia. So they all are local here with me in North Georgia. But yeah, so it's exciting, guys. I love this topic, the Mandela Effect stuff. So we're going to go over some more Mandela Effect stuff. So we've got some time to go through some of these Mandela Effects. And some of these things are going to just blow your mind. I mean, they're things that you remember that are apparently not true. So we're going to go through some more of them. We've got quite a few of them. So you guys remember Oscar Mayer, right? You know, the lunch meats and hot dogs, right? So, Oscar's always been spelled the same in both of these memories, apparently, but Meyer has been spelled different. So Oscar Mayer, is it Oscar Mayer or is it Oscar Mayer? So many people thought that it was Meyer, Meyer, right? But no, they say that's Mayer, and that's what's on today's packages. So, how do we go from Mayer to Mayer to Mayer to Meyer to Mayer? Yeah, I don't know, but anyways, it's been a controversial one. All right, how about the shoes? You guys remember the Skechers shoes, right? And yeah, I still sell shoes to this day. But did you know Skechers doesn't even have a T in it? I've always remembered the Skechers with a T, Sketchers, but they claim there's no T. It's just Skechers. I don't know, but the T does not exist. All right, so how about Kellogg's Fruit Loops? All right. So Kellogg's have been spelling fruit like that for years, and now we just noticed it. What? Huh? So you guys remember the box always saying fruit, Fruit, and then loops, and then the two O's were Fruit Loops, right? With a blue and yellow Fruit Loop. Well, they claim that Fruit Loops is actually spelled Froot and has a green and a purple Fruit Loop in fruit. That's not even spelled right. And then Loops has the blue and the yellow Fruit Loop in it. That's not right. That doesn't even sound right. These people try to think we're crazy, right? Oh man, oh man. This is some crazy stuff. All right, so how about King Henry the Eighth and the turkey leg? All right. For some reason, people distinctly remember that his portrait showing the King of England wielding a turkey leg. To be clear, he was not. Some people think that he's holding up a turkey leg by his face, but in fact, looks like he's holding a roll of like a scroll or something by his waist, not a turkey leg by his face. So yeah. All right. So how about you guys remember the Monopoly Man, right? So the Monopoly man, running, carrying a bag of money, right? So do you guys remember him wearing a monocle? The little eyepiece, a little, you know, thing, that little round thing goes around his eye, So a lot of people believe that he's always wore the monocle, but many people apparently are confusing him with Planer's Peanut mascot, Mr. Peanut, that has a monocle. But the Monopoly Man supposedly has never had a monocle. So, well, that's pretty interesting to say the least. So, all right, guys. Well, I have no idea what's going on with this stupid stream. I tell you, if it's not one thing, it's another. Apparently, our platform's saying that we're streaming live on Facebook. If you guys see us streaming live on Facebook, can you let us know whether we're streaming live on Facebook? It says we are, but another screen said that we're not. And apparently we were supposed to be streaming live on Rumble. So if you guys are trying to watch us on Rumble, can you let us know if we're streaming on Rumble or not? I'd like to know if we're streaming or not. So I don't know. I gotta look into this. This is this technical stuff. It's oh, it's something else. All right. So going back to the Mandela effects. All right. So how about Pikachu's tail? All right. You guys remember the little Pokemon Pikachu, right? Little yellow character. It's got the blue or no, blue. Oh my goodness gracious. Got the black tipped ears, right? So on his tail, do you guys remember there being a black tip on the end of his tail? No, they say that that's not true. He doesn't have a black tip on the end of his tail, and he's got a little brown spot on his tail by his butt. Apparently, there's no black tip on the end of his tail, but he's got black tipped ears. Yeah. So how about Kit Kat? You guys like Kit Kat bars? All right. So those of you that love Kit Kat and have grown up eating Kit Kats your whole life, all right, was there ever a hyphen, a dash between Kit and Kat? Or did we just put a dash there in our minds? A lot of people remember a dash being between Kit and Kat, but Kit Kat says, no, we've never had a dash in our logo. It's always just been Kit Kat. All right. So moving on. All right. So you guys like Cheez-Its, right? The Cheez-Its crackers? Well, Cheez-Its says that they've never been called Cheez-Its. It's always been Cheez-It. There's no Z on the end. So what? No. No, it's always been Cheez-Its. I-T-Z. So no, that Z has definitely been there. All right. How about Oreos? All right. Yeah, this is a big one for all you Oreo lovers out there. So those of you that love the double stuff Oreos, they claim that double stuff has never been spelled as S-T-U-F-F. It's always just been S-T-U-F is how stuff has been spelled. That's not even the right spelling. Why you gotta take an F off of there and try to act like we're stupid? Really? No, y'all are the stupid ones for not spelling it right. Like, it's always been stuff, S-T-U-F-F. Come on. All right. So, there's been a lot of theories, a lot of controversy about Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa painting, right? Well, so many people have claimed that she used to have more of an obvious smile. But in her photos and what they claim is that she's never had a smile. Interesting. So, how about you Star Wars fans out there? Okay? All you Star Wars fans. You guys love the gold robot, right? C3PO, right? Star Wars claims that he's never been all gold and that he has a silver piece on his right leg. I have never in my life seen a silver piece on C3PO's right leg. Of course, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, but for those of you that are a Star Wars fan, is the bottom of his right leg from his knee down, is it silver? Or is he supposed to be all gold? Yeah. Y'all let us know about that one in the comments on our Facebook or Rumble or over on Twitch if you guys are watching us on Twitch. All right. Did you know that the Flintstones has two T's in it? We've been pronouncing it without the first one. It's Flintstones. It's actually Flint Stones. That was interesting. All right, here's another Star Wars one for you guys. So, you guys have always heard the old saying in Star Wars, Luke, I am your father, right? They claim that that's not true. That he never says, Luke, I am your father. He says, no, I am your father. They claim that that's the correct line is, no, I am your father. No, that's always been Luke, I am your father. Everybody vividly remembers that one. All right, so how about Cinderella's castle at Disney World? All right. Contrary to popular belief that there's only one Cinderella castle, and it's actually in Walt Disney World in Florida. The blue and pink castle in California's Disneyland is actually Sleeping Beauty's. So, yeah, that one's interesting. So, how about the movie Jaws? How many of you guys grew up seeing the movie Jaws? You know, with the big shark in it? So, Roy Schneider in there apparently says that we're going to need a bigger boat. But that's not actually true. They say that you're going to need a bigger boat, not we're going to need a bigger boat. That one's interesting. Oh, yeah, here's a big one for you guys. You guys remember Ed McMahon and the Publishers Clearinghouse? Hey, we can still see it clear as day, right? Ed McMahon carrying the big old check, giant check, going to people's house, knocking on the door with all the balloons, and he's going there and giving everybody their big old check. So, yeah, it was definitely Publishers Clearinghouse. But Ed McMahon and Publishers Clearinghouse claims that they never had a relationship. And Ed McMahon said he's never worked for Publishers Clearinghouse, but he did work for American Family Publishers, and he never handed anyone any checks. His face was simply on the envelopes. No, I actually watched it on television. So I've seen it on TV many a times with Ed McMahon and Publishers Clearinghouse and him going and handing checks to people at their house. So I grew up that, and I remember my grandma and my mom both were big Publishers Clearinghouse junkies. So they always went into that and paid into it, or did all the little things to try to win the contest. But they never got one of the big old checks from Ed McMahon. So maybe because it wasn't true, I guess. I don't know. All right. So how about Forrest Gump? Okay, with Tom Hanks in it. You guys remember Forrest Gump saying, "Life is like a box of chocolates"? Yeah, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, right? Nope. They say life was like a box of chocolates. What? No, that's definitely not true. Life is like a box of chocolates, not life was like a box of chocolates. Crazy. This is crazy. All right. So let's see. I'm going through some of these other Mandela Effects here. So, Mr. Rogers' theme song, you might start singing the lyrics. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day in this neighborhood, right? No. So it's a not a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. It's a small but mighty blow to our memories. What? No. It's always been, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Won't you be mine? Won't you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? That's what I remember, right? From Mr. Rogers. Yeah. Weird. Definitely weird. So, all right. You guys remember Star Trek, right? With Captain Kirk. You guys remember it says another memorable line that was surely uttered by William Shatner in his portrayal of Captain Kirk in Star Trek was Shatner supposedly said, "Beam me up, Scotty." And everybody has always said that for many years. Like I've heard that many years, all right? Because that supposedly happened in 1986 and I was born in 82. So I grew up hearing that a lot, you know. Beam me up, Scotty. But the fact of the matter was he never said that. He said, "Scotty, beam us up." What? No, doesn't sound right. All right. So how about Toto? I don't think we're in Kansas anymore from Wizard of Oz. You remember Dorothy saying, "Toto, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore." No, what she said was, "Toto, I've got a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore." No, she didn't say that much. She didn't say all those words. "Toto, I've got a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore." No, it was, "Toto, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore." All right. So how about Tom Cruise and the sunglasses? Have you guys heard this one from the movie Risky Business, where he comes out in his underwear and a shirt, button-up shirt and some socks, and comes sliding in, with a microphone, whatever. And so a lot of people said that they remember him wearing some cool shades. He had some sunglasses on during that. But the fact is no, that he never had sunglasses. But what's weird about it is that the iconic shades were on the movie poster. So that is definitely interesting. So how about Hello Clarice? All right. We don't know what's scarier, the fact that we remember Hannibal Lecter saying "Hello Clarice," or the reality that all he said was "Good morning." Huh? How in the heck did we get "Hello Clarice" out of "Good morning"? That that one is definitely puzzling. That one is definitely weird. Yeah. I don't know what to think about that one. So we're gonna go through some more here, guys. We got there's quite a few quite a few of these on here. Things that are apparently not true. So how about I Love Lucy? How many I Love Lucy fans are out there? All right. So you remember Ricky Ricardo's famous catchphrase on I Love Lucy that apparently he never said, that says, "Lucy, you have some splaining to do." Apparently that was never said. And what he actually said was, "Splain that if you can." And Lucy, splain. What? No. No, that's not true. Like that's not even right. That totally changes the entire context of what he was saying. It was definitely, "Lucy, you have some splaining to do." All right, how about the number of US states? Some people, both Americans and foreigners alike, recall learning that there were actually 51 or 52 states, but the fact is that there's only 50. I don't remember there being 51 or 52 states, but I always remember there being 50. But that's a weird one. I have never heard of that one, but that's on this list here from goodhousekeeping.com that I'm looking at all these Mandela effects on here. All right, so in the movie Casablanca, this line is apparently never said. Play it again, Sam. So what's actually said by Ingrid Bergman's character is, play it once, Sam, for old time's sake. Huh? How'd we get play it again, Sam, out of play it once, Sam, for old time's sake? Okay, interesting. All right. So, how about Smokey the Bear? All right. Remember it from forestry, giving you all the forestry advice and saying, "Hey, make sure to put your campfires out." But anyway, Smokey the Bear, right? We've always called him Smokey the Bear, right? Apparently, that's not his name. He's just name is Smokey Bear, not Smokey the Bear. All right. So you remember back in 1989, for those of you that are a little older, um, down in Tiananmen Square protest, recollections of the event vary. There was a man called Tank Man, and he stood there in front of the military tanks, and they apparently plowed him over, that he was run over and killed. But some people claim that the man never died and he was unharmed. So that's definitely a weird one. All right. So how about Neil Armstrong? You remember Neil Armstrong? Yeah, you remember the first man on the moon kind of thing, of the moon landing that never existed? Yeah, that's for another discussion. That's for another topic. Another show. Yeah, we'll talk all about the moon and the moon landing and all that. Yeah, that's definitely a good topic. But anyways, oddly enough, people had no recollection of the astronaut's death. Many fans apparently forgot or didn't even notice the news of him, that apparently he passed in August of 2012. Huh? Then how come he's apparently still alive and still talking to people? Or are there two Neil Armstrongs? I, I don't know. That's definitely a weird one. So how about Joan Jett? Uh, Anybody was a big fan of Joan Jett? Remember her singing, I saw him standing there by the record machine in the I Love Rock and Roll song? What she actually says is, I saw him dancing there by the record machine. Put another dime in the jukebox and give it a re-listen. Huh? No, that one's weird. All right, so let's see. All right, so how about the Space Shuttle Challenger explosion? All right, though the tragic accident apparently took place on January 28th of 1986, apparently there was a number of people who thought that it actually happened in 84 or 85, so a year or two earlier. So I don't know. Yeah, that's definitely a weird one. How can we be a year or two uh, off on that? So, but yeah, that was another thing too. That's for another discussion. Talking about the Challenger, there was never anybody on board, and those astronauts are apparently still alive to this day, and they are actually college professors. So, yeah. All right. How about Mickey Mouse's tail? Most people envision Mickey Mouse's favorite mouse tail just doesn't come to mind. In original illustrations of Mickey, he does have a full tail. He also, in today's popular Mickey Mouse Clubhouse show for kids, also has a tail. But he still doesn't have any suspenders. All right, and one last one before we go to our audience interaction. If you build it, they will come. All right, you guys remember Field of Dreams, the iconic baseball field? So it says, in reality, the actual line uttered by the mysterious voice at the beginning of the movie was, if you build it, he will come. We know we'll never be the same either. If you build it, they will come was definitely what was said. Not, if you build it, he will come. Like, who the heck is he? Like, no, it's they. It's like, if you build the ball field, they will come. Like, not he, not one individual person. That's a weird one. All right, guys. Well, it's time to start winding down the show, and we're going into our segment here called Audience Interaction. And this is where we actually take questions from you. And tonight we actually have absolutely nothing to talk about regarding audience interaction. Why? Because you haven't sent us anything. Come on, guys. You got to send us questions, comments, send us emails. We want to hear from you. Send us text messages. We want to hear from you. We need some content for our audience interaction. We want to answer your questions. We want you to be part of the show. All right. So you gotta get in here, guys. You gotta do this. You gotta be a part of this. All right. But let me just go back. Let me tell you, you guys can actually be a part of this in ways that you won't even imagine. Are you ready for this? You guys want to be a part of the show? Guess what? You guys can actually be a contributor to the show. You guys can send us everything. Like, you guys want to send us topics. You guys want to send us evidence, pictures, videos, whatever the case is. Hey, listen, you guys send it to us. You guys can email it to us. Send it to studio@tinfoilandtequila.com. All right. That's the best way to get it to us. If you're sending a video, please make sure that you upload the video to YouTube or to like Google Drive or Vimeo or something before you share it with us, because videos and actually large pictures do not send well through email. Sometimes the larger pictures will send, but definitely not videos. You'll have to upload the videos somewhere first before you send them to us. But we want to hear from you guys. We want you guys to be a contributor. This is not just our show here. This is your show as well. Okay. We want you guys to interact with us. We want you guys to send us evidence, send us stories, things that you want to hear about. If there's a topic you want to hear about, if you have evidence on it, you guys want to send us something, whether it's election fraud, like whatever it is, it doesn't matter, guys. Send it to us. Send us stuff to talk about. Like, this is your show. All right. So we will do the research into different topics. Okay. So don't worry about that. There, like, I mean, we want you to feel like you're us, like you're here, like we're family. Okay. Now, with that being said, also another thing that we also have here on our show is we're looking for sponsors for our show. So if you have a business, or even if you're an individual, you want to be a sponsor on the show, we'd love to have you as a sponsor on our show. And also, if you don't want to be a sponsor and you don't want to put your name out there on the forefront, that's perfectly fine. You guys can also be a donor for the show. So we are looking for donors. We do have extensive costs that are associated with our show. We've got our hosting costs, our domain costs, the cost for software, the cost for streaming services that we have to pay for so that we can stream to all the different platforms and stuff for you. We've got software that we use to make edits and all kinds of different stuff with on here that, we have to pay. We have subscription fees and stuff that we've got to cover every month. So right now our subscription costs are, I'd say, probably right around the $50-$60 a month range right now. But those are kind of introductory prices that we've got for some of the software right now, and those costs will be going up. So we need to cover these costs. Right now, these costs are coming out of our own pockets, and we're having to front this money. But with our sponsorships, and our donors, not only are you guys able to contribute, financially, monetary into our show here, but you guys also become a part of the show. We also give you guys a shout out on the show here. You guys get free advertising, as part of that. So there's a lot of benefits. And if you're a sponsor, there's even more benefits, on the sponsorship side, opposed to just being a donor. So something to think about, guys. Something to think about, especially if you guys love our show and you love what we're doing here. You love the direction that I'm taking this. Tinfoil and Tequila is great. I want this platform to not just be my platform, but to be your platform as well. All right. So that's the whole goal of this. But anyways, thank you guys all so much for listening. This is our final take for tonight. Our final take is one of our last segments here on the show, and it's just basically giving a summary of today's show, what we went over today. Today's show was about Mandela Effects and mind control. We talked a little bit about CERN, and another discussion that we're going to be talking about next week. Hopefully we'll have Jen with us next week. Jen, we'd love to have you on the show still. So hopefully you're here next week with us. But next week, I want to talk a little bit more about the mind control, and we're going to kind of go into more of the MKUltra stuff and the CIA's mind control program, where they, and then we'll kind of touch a little bit on GATE. And then in 2 weeks after next week, we're going to be talking about GATE, GATE program. So next week's going to be MKUltra. So you guys make sure to tune in for that. And then the following week, we're going to have Michael in here. And we're going to be talking about paranormal and ghost, which is going to be a great discussion as well. And then that following week, after the paranormal week with Michael, which is in 2 weeks, that third and 3 weeks from now, we'll go and talk about the other stuff about the GATE program, which was more mind control stuff. So we're going to break it up a little bit with the paranormal stuff with Michael. So instead of having 3 shows back to back about mind control, which we could, Michael wants to talk about paranormal and ghosts, because he's had some encounters himself. And also I am a formal paranormal investigator for 8.5 years down in Florida. And I'll talk about that on Michael's show. So make sure to tune in and listen. We got some great shows coming up, guys. Also want to give a shout out to our sponsors and supporters. Thank you all so very much to all of my Facebook friends and family out there. All of my friends and family that's out on Rumble and Twitch, X, all the other platforms out there. Thank you guys all so much for sharing the show, getting our show out there. Like I said, this is not my show. This is our show. This is mine and your show. So yeah, thank you guys so much for sharing it and getting the invite sent out and letting people know about this podcast, because this podcast is here to stay, baby. It's here to stay. And we're going to have some great content and going to be exposing a whole lot of stuff and bringing the truth to you. So this is Tinfoil and Tequila. Thank you guys all so much for listening tonight. Here's what's next. Here's how to find us. We are on Spotify. Spotify, we haven't really posted anything on there yet. That is coming. We will be getting that updated here very soon. So our show will be syndicated over to Spotify. We are on YouTube. I am working on YouTube as well. But we are currently on Rumble, so you can primarily catch us on Rumble and Twitch, are the two main platforms that we are streaming to and are keeping updated as much as we can. Also, Facebook. Make sure to visit us on our Facebook page. You can find us Tinfoil and Tequila on all of those platforms. Also, our website is tinfoilandtequila.com. Please do not go there. It is a horrible looking page. It is just a little blank, little simple little template that's up there. There's no content. I've just simply registered the domain, installed WordPress on it, and it's a work in progress. So